Hi everyone, I am Manolo Casel from BS Marie 3 Alpha, and today we're going to tackle about the two different kind of engines, which are the 2-stroke and the 4-stroke engines, as well as their advantages and their disadvantages.
You probably have some knowledge of how internal combustion engines work. It involves pistons, cams, explosions, etc. But you know the difference between 2-stroke and 4-stroke engines. Throughout the history of automotive designs, there have been existed two main types of gasoline-powered combustion engines: the two-cycle or two-stroke and the four-cycle or four-stroke engines. As you may have guessed, the names of each engines suggest exactly how they operate. For an engine to complete combustion, there needs to be combustion of the air-gas mixture and explosion through the exhaust port. The way this process is repeated varies between each engine types. A two-cycle engine completes a combustion and exhaust cycle in only 2 strokes of the pistons, whereas the four-cycle engine takes 4 strokes of the pistons, plus their names. For 4-cycle engines, there's a power stroke where the piston is down, which is caused by combustion of the fuel mixture. Then there's an exhaust stroke where the piston is up, which pushes the gas up and out of the engine. The following 2 strokes include the intake where the piston is down to draw in the fuel, and the compression stroke where the piston is up to start the process all over again. Examining this process closer yields the observation that the whole cycle is powered by the ignition combustion stroke. This means that the combustion of the fuel mixture needs to be imparted enough power on the piston to allow it to rotate the crankshaft twice. A two-cycle engine, on the other hand, has much simpler mechanics, as it basically consolidates the different processes of a four-stroke engine. There is a power stroke which also releases the exhaust after a certain amount of travel. Then, an intake and compression stroke that draws in the new fuel in complete combustion. These are the basic mechanics of each engine types, but both have significant advantages and disadvantages, which has ultimately led to a more widespread use of the four-stroke engines. Looking first out of its efficiency, a four-stroke engine achieves great efficiency due to the fact that nearly no fuel is wasted in the intake cycle. In other words, but fuel is drawn into a closed system. In a two-stroke engine, since the fuel is drawn in during a combined intake and compression stroke, the mechanics needed for this also means that some fuel can escape while being drawn into the cylinder, thus decreasing efficiency. Modern two-stroke use fuel injection, which increases the efficiency to levels close to four-stroke. But generally, a four-stroke can be much more efficient. Efficiency is in everything though. A four-stroke is certainly more efficient, but they also weigh upwards of 50% more than a comparable two-stroke engines. This way is due to more complexity within the motor's mechanism, which also leads to significantly more moving parts in a four-cycle engine. In terms of simpleness and easiness to fix, a two-stroke engine easily wins out. The last main difference between these engines types is how oil is added to the engine. In a two-stroke engine, the oil is typically mixed with the fuel, usually somewhere in a 50-to-1 or 20-to-1 range. This makes oil application fairly reliable, but it also needs to increase fuel cost and fuel modification when you buy it. A four-cycle engine uses normal gasoline like your cars, motors, that also happens to be a four-stroke engines, and the oil is injected from a separate reservoir. So this is the burning fuel to engine up, and of course there's always a possibility that the fuel pump will break. All things considered, even with the drawbacks,